Medfield TV. Community shows.
In delivering my son from me, I bury a second husband.
And I am going, madam, before my father's death anew. But I must attend his majesty's command, to whom I am now in ward evermore in subjection.
You shall find of the king a husband, madam, you, sir, a father. He that so generally is at all times good must of necessity hold his virtue to you.
What hope is there of his majesty's amendment?
He hath abandoned his position, madam, under whose practices he persecuted time with hope, finds no other advantage in the process, but only the losing of hope by time.
This young gentlewoman had a father, oh, that had, how sad a passage 'tis, whose skill was almost as great as his honesty. Had it stretched so far, would have made nature immortal, and death should have played for lack of work. Would for the king's sake he were living, I think it would be the death of the king's disease.
What called you this man you speak of, madam?
He was famous, sir, in his profession, and it was his great right to be so. Gerard de Narbonne.
Was this gentlewoman the daughter of Gerard de Narbonne?
His sole child, my lord, and bequeathed to my overlooking. I have those hopes of her good that her education promises. Her disposition she inherits, which makes fair gifts fairer. In her they are the better for their simpleness. She derives her honesty and achieves her goodness.
Your commendations, madam, get from her tears.
'Tis the best brine a maiden can season her praise in. The remembrance of her father never approaches her heart, but the tyranny of her sorrows takes all livelihood from her cheek. No more of this, Helena, go to no more, lest it be rather thought you affect a sorrow than to have it.
I do affect a sorrow indeed, but I have it too.
A moderate lamentation is the right of the dead, but excessive grief the enemy to the living.
Be thou blessed, Bertram, and succeed thy father in manners as in shape. Thy blood and virtue contend for empire in thee, and thy goodness share with thy birthright. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Be checked for silence, but never taxed for speech. Farewell, my lord. 'Tis an unseasoned courtier. Good my lord, advise him.
He cannot want the best that shall attend his love.
Heaven bless him. Farewell, Bertram.
The best wishes that can be forced into thoughts be servants to you. Be comfortable to my mother, your mistress, and make much of her.
Fare you well, pretty lady. You must hold the credit of your father.
Oh, were that all? I think not on my father, and these great tears grace his remembrance more than those I shed for him. What was he like? I have forgot him. My imagination carries no favor in but Bertram's. I am undone. There is no living, none if Bertram be away. 'Twere all one that I should love a bright particular star and think to wed it. He is so above me in his bright radiance and collateral light. But now he's gone, and my idolatrous fancy must sanctify his relics. Who comes here? One that goes with him. I love him for his sake, and yet I know him a notorious liar. Think him a great way fool, solely a captain. Yet sit so fit in him that they give place, when virtue's steely bones looks bleak in the cold wind. With awful oft we see cold wisdom waiting on superfluous folly.
Save you, fair queen.
And you, monarch?
No.
And no.
Are you meditating on virginity?
Aye. You have some stain of soldier in you. Let me ask you a question. Man is enemy to virginity. How may we barricado it against him?
Keep him out.
But he assails, and our virginity, though valiant, in the defense yet is weak. Unfold to us some warlike resistance.
There is none. Men sitting down before you will undermine you and blow you up.
Bless our poor virginity from underminers and blowers up. Is there no military policy how virgins might blow up men?
Virginity being blown up, men will quickly be blown down. It's not politic in the commonwealth of nature to preserve virginity. Virginity, being once lost, may be 10 times found. Being ever kept, it is ever lost. Just too cold a companion, away with it.
I will stand for it a little, though therefore I die a virgin.
As little can be said in it, which is against the rule of nature. To speak on the part of virginity is to accuse your mothers, which is most infallible disobedience. Besides, virginity is peevish, proud, idle, made of self-love, which is the most inhibited sin in the canon. Keep it not, you can choose but to lose by it. Away with it.
How might one do, sir, to lose it to her own liking?
Let me see. Marry ill to like him that near it likes. 'Tis a commodity will lose the gloss with lying. The longer kept, less worth. Off with it when 'tis vendible. Will you anything with it?
Not my virginity, yes. There shall your master have 1,000 loves, a mother, and a mistress, and a friend, phoenix, captain, and enemy, a guide, a goddess, and a sovereign, counselor, a traitress, and a dear, I know not what he shall. God sent him well. The court's a learning place, and he is one.
Which one, in faith?
But I wish well, 'tis pity.
What's pity?
That wishing well had not a body in it that might be felt, that we, the poorer born, whose baser stars do shut us up in wishes, might with effects of them follow our friends, and show what we alone must think, whichever returns us thanks.
Little Helen, farewell. If I can remember thee, I'll think of thee at court.
Monsieur Parolles, you were born under a charitable star.
Under Mars,
I especially think under Mars.
Why under Mars?
The wars hath kept you so under that you must needs be born under Mars.
When he was predominant.
When he was retrograde, I think, rather.
Why think you so?
You go so much backward when you fight.
That's for advantage.
So is running away when fear proposes the safety. But the composition that your valor and your fear makes in you is a virtue of a good way, and I like the wear well.
I'm so full of businesses, I cannot answer thee acutely. When thou hast leisure, say thy prayer. When thou hast done, remember thy friends. Get thee a good husband and use him as he uses thee. So farewell.
Our remedies oft in ourselves do lie, which we ascribe to heaven. The fated sky gives us free scope. Only doth backward pull our slow designs when we ourselves are dull. What power is it that mounts my love so high, that makes me see and cannot feed mine eye? The king's disease. My project may deceive me, but my intents are fixed and will not leave me.
Florentines and Sonoys are by the years, have fought with equal valor and continue a braving war.
So 'tis reported, sir.
Nay, 'tis most credible. We here receive it, a certainty vouched from our cousin Austria, with caution that the Florentine will move us for speedy aid, wherein our dearest friend prejudicates the business and would seem to have us make denial.
His love and wisdom approve, so to your majesty may plead for amplest credence.
He hath armed our answer, and Florence is denied before he comes. But for our gentlemen that mean to see the Tuscan service, freely have they leave to stand on either part.
It well may serve a nursery to our gentry, who are sick for breathing and exploits.
What's he? Comes here.
It is the Count Grosignon, my good lord, young Bertram.
Youth, thou bearest thy father's face. Frank nature rather curious, than in haste hath well composed thee. Thy father's moral parts mayest thou inherit, to welcome to Paris.
My thanks and duty are your majesty's.
I wish I had that corporal soundness now, as when your father and myself in friendship first tried our soldiership. He did look far into the service of the time, and was discipled of the bravest. He lasted long, but on us both did haggish age steal on, and wore us out of act. It much repairs me to talk of your good father. In his youth he had the wit that I could well observe today in our young lords. Such a man might be a copy to these younger times which followed well, would demonstrate them now but goers backward.
His good remembrance, sir, lies richer in your thoughts than on his tomb. So in a proof lives not his epitaph as in your royal speech.
Would I were with him. Methinks I hear him now. His plausive words he scattered not in ears, but grafted them to grow there and to bear. Let me not live after my flame lacks oil, to be the snuff of younger spirits, whose apprehensive senses all but new things disdain, whose judgments are mere fathers of their garments, whose constancies expire before their fashions. This he wished. I after him do, after him wish too, since I nor wax nor honey can bring home. I quickly were dissolved from my hive to give some laborers room.
You're loved, sir. They that least lend it you shall lack you first.
I fill a place, I know it. How long is it, Count, since the physician at your father's died? He was much famed.
Some 6 months since, my lord.
If he were living, I would try him yet. Lend me an arm. The others have worn me out with several applications. Nature and sickness debate it at their leisure. Welcome, Count, my sons no dearer.
Thank your majesty.
Well, now,
Madam, I know you love your gentlewoman entirely.
faith I do. Her father bequeaths her to me, and she herself, without the other advantage, may lawfully make title to as much love as she finds. There is more owing her than is paid, and more shall be paid her than she'll demand.
Madam, I was rather late more near her than I think she wished me. Alone she was, and did communicate to herself, in her own words to her own ears, in a way that she thought, I dare vow, for her they touched not any stranger sense. Her matter was, she loved your son. Faith, she cried, could put no quality between them that put their mercies at such a level space. This she delivered with such a bitter touch of sorrow that ere I ever heard virgin exclaim, and which I held my duty speedily to acquaint you with all, so thence in the loss that may happen, it concerns you something to know it.
You have discharged this honestly. Keep it to yourself. Many likelihoods informed me of this before, which hung so tottering in the balance that I could neither believe nor misdoubt. Pray you leave me. Stall this in your bosom, and I thank you for your honest care. I will speak with you further anon. Even so it was with me when I was young. If ever we are nature's, these are ours. This thorn doth to our rose of youth rightly belong. Our blood to us, this to our blood is born. It is the show and seal of nature's truth, where love's strong passion is impressed in youth. By our remembrances of days foregone, such were our faults, or then we thought them none. Her eye is sick on it, I observe her now.
What is your pleasure, madam?
You know, Helen, I am a mother to you.
Mine honorable mistress.
Nay, a mother. Why not a mother? When I said a mother, methought you saw a serpent. What's in mother that you start at it? I say I am your mother, and put you in the catalogue of those that were in wounded mind. But 'tis often seen, adoption strives with nature. and choice breeds a native slip to us from foreign seas. You ne'er oppressed me with a mother's groan, yet I express to you a mother's care. God's mercy, maiden, does it curd thy blood to say I am thy mother? What's the matter? That this distempered messenger of wet, the many-colored iris, rounds thine eye. Why, that you are my daughter?
That I am not.
I say I am your mother.
Pardon, madam. The Count Racilian cannot be my brother. I am from humble, he from honored name. No note upon my parents, his all noble. My master, my dear lord he is, and I, his servant live, and will his vassal die. He must not be my brother.
Nor I your mother.
You are my mother, madam, would you were, so that my lord your son were not my brother? Indeed, my mother, or were you both our mothers? I care no more for than I do for heaven. So I were not his sister. Can no other but I, your daughter, he must be my brother?
Yes, Helen, you might be my daughter-in-law. God shield you mean it not. Daughter and mother so strive upon your pulse. What, pale again? My fear hath catched your fondness. Now I see the mystery of your loveliness, and find your salt tears head. Now to all sense 'tis gross. You love my son. Invention is ashamed against the proclamation of thy passion to say thou dost not. Therefore tell me true, but tell me then 'tis so. For look, thy cheeks confess it one to the other, and thine eyes see it so grossly shown in thy behaviors that in their kind they speak it. Only sin and hellish obstinacy tie thy tongue, that truth should be suspected. Speak, is it so? If it be so, you have wound a goodly clue. If it be not, forswear it. Howe'er I charge thee, as heaven shall work in me for thine avail, to tell me truly.
Good madam, pardon me.
Do you love my son?
Your pardon, noble mistress.
Love you, my son?
Do not you love him, madam?
Go not abound. My love hath in it a bond whereof the world takes note. Come, disclose the state of your affection, for your passions have to full appeach.
I confess, here on my knee, before high heaven and you, that before you and next unto high heaven, I love your son. My friends were poor but honest, so's my love. Be not offended, for it hurts not him that he is loved of me. I follow him not by any token of presumptuous suit, nor would I have him till I do deserve him, yet never know how that desert may be. I know I love in vain. My dearest madam, let not your hate encounter with my love for loving where you do, but if yourself, whose aged honor cites a virtuous youth, did ever, in so true a flame of liking, love chastely and hope dearly that your Diane, for both herself and love, then give pity to her whose state is such that cannot choose, but lend and give where she is sure to lose, that seeks not to find that her search implies, but riddle-like lives sweetly where she dies.
Had you not lately an intent, speak truly, to go to Paris?
Madam, I have.
Wherefore, tell true.
I will tell truth, by grace itself, I swear. You know my father left me some prescriptions of rare and proved effects, such as his reading and manifest experience had collected for general sovereignty. Among the rest, there is a remedy, approved, set down, to cure the desperate languishings whereof the king is rendered lost.
This was your motive for Paris, was it? Speak.
My lord, your son made me to think of this. Else Paris and the medicine and the king had from the conversation of my thoughts happily been absent.
But think you, Helen, if you should tender your supposed aid, he would receive it? He and his physicians are of a mind. He that they cannot help him, they that they cannot help. How shall they credit a poor unlearned virgin when the schools, emboweled of their doctrine, have left off the danger to itself.
There's something in it, more than my father's skill, which was the greatest of his profession, that his good receipt shall from my legacy be sanctified by the luckiest stars in heaven. And would your honor but give me leave to try success, I wager the well-lost life of mine upon his grace's cure, by such a day and hour.
Dost thou believe it?
Aye, madam, knowingly.
Why, Helen, thou shalt have my leave and love, means and attendance, and my loving greetings to those of mine in court. I'll stay at home and pray God's blessing into thy attempt. Be gone tomorrow, and be sure of this, what I can help thee to, thou shalt not miss.
Farewell, young lords. These warlike principles do not grow from you, and you, my lords, farewell.
'Tis our hope, sir, after well-entered soldiers, to return and find your grace in health.
No, it cannot be, and yet my heart will not confess he owes the malady that doth my life besiege. Farewell, young lords, whether I live or die, be you the sons of worthy Frenchmen. Let higher Italy see you come not to woo honor, but to wed it. Find what you seek, that fame may cry you loud. I say farewell.
Health at your bidding, serve your majesty.
Those girls of Italy, take heed of them. They say our French lack language to deny when they demand, beware of being captives before you serve. I say farewell.
Our hearts receive your warnings.
Come hither to me.
Oh, my sweet lord, that you will stay behind us.
Tis not his fault, the spark.
Oh, 'tis brave wars.
Most admirable. I have seen those wars.
I am commanded here, and kept a coil of too young in the next year, and 'tis too early.
And thy mind, stand to it, boy. Steal away bravely.
I shall stay here, full horse to a smock, creaking my shoes on the plain masonry, till honor be bought, and no sword worn, but one to dance with. By heaven, I'll steal away.
There's honor in the theft.
Commit it, Count.
I'm your accessory, so farewell.
I grow to you, and our parting is a tortured body.
Farewell, Captain.
Sweet Monsieur Parolles.
Noble heroes, my sword and yours are kin, good words, and lustrous, a word good metal. You shall find in the regiment of the Spinney one Captain Spurrier, his cicatrice with an emblem of war here on his sinister cheek. It was this very sword that entrenched him. Say to him I live, and observe his reports for me.
We shall, noble captain.
Mars, dote on you for his novices. What will ye do?
Stay the king.
It is a more spacious ceremony with the noble lords. You have restrained yourself within the list of too cold an adieu. Be more expressive to them. After them, and give a more dilated farewell.
And I will do so.
Worthy fellows, and like to prove most sinewy swordsmen.
Pardon, my lord, for me and for my tidings.
I'll see thee to stand up.
Then here stands a man who has brought his own pardon. Would that you had kneeled, my lord, to ask me mercy, and that at my bidding you could so stand up.
I would I had, so I had broke thy pate across and begged thee mercy for it.
Good faith across. But 'tis thus, my lord. Will you be cured of your infirmity?
No.
Oh, will my noble royal fox eat no grapes? Yes, but you will my noble grapes if my royal fox could but reach them. I have seen a medicine that's able to breathe life into a stone, quicken a rock, make you dance canary with sprightly fire and motion, whose simple touch is powerful to erase King Pippin, nay, give great Charlemagne a pen in his hand and write to her a love line.
What her is this?
Why, doctor, she, my lord, there's one arrived, if you will see her. Oh, I have spoke with one that in her sex, her years, profession, wisdom, and constancy hath amazed me more than I dare blame my weakness. Will you see her? For that is her demand, and know her business. That done, laugh well at me.
Now, good nephew, bring in the admiration, that we with thee may spend our wonder too, or take off thine for wondering how thou tookst it.
May I'll fit you, and not be all day neither.
Thus he his special nothing ever prologues.
Nay, come your ways. This is his majesty. Speak your mind to him. A traitor you do look like, but such traitors he seldom fears. I am Cressid's uncle that dare leave two together. Fare you well.
Now, fair one, does your business follow us?
Aye, my good lord. Gerard de Narbonne was my father. In what he did profess, well found.
I knew him.
The rather will I spare my praises towards him. Knowing him is enough. On sped of death, many receipts he gave me, chiefly one, which as the dearest issue of his practice, and of his old experience the only darling, he bade me store up as a triple eye, safer than mine own too. More dear I have so, and hearing your high majesty is touched with that malignant cause wherein the honor of my dear father's gift stands chief in power, I come to tender it and my appliance with all bound humbleness.
We thank you, maiden, but may not be so credulous of cure when our most learned doctors leave us, and the congregated college have concluded that that laboring arts can never ransom nature from her innatable estate. I say we must not so stain our judgment or corrupt our hope to prostitute our past pure malady to empirics, or to dissever so our great self and our credit, to esteem a senseless help when help past sense we deem.
My duty, then, shall pay me for my pains. I will no more enforce mine office on you, humbly entreating from your royal thoughts a modest one to bear me back again.
I cannot give thee less to be called grateful. Thou thought'st to help me, and such thanks I give as one near death to those that wish him live. But what at full I know, thou knowest no part. I, knowing all my peril, thou no art.
What I can do no hurt to try, since you set up your rest against remedy. He that of greatest works is finisher, oft does them by the weakest minister. Oft expectation fails, and most oft there where most it promises, and oft it hits where hope is coldest and despair most shifts.
I must not hear thee. Fare thee well, kind maid. Thy pains not used must by thyself be paid. Profit thanks offered reap their own reward.
Inspired merit so by breath is barred? It is not so with him, that all things knows, as 'tis with us that square our guests by shows. And most it is presumption in us when, the help of heaven, we count the act of men. Dear sir, to my endeavors give consent. Of heaven, not me, make an experiment. I am not an imposture that proclaim myself against the level of my name. But know I think, and think I know most sure, my art is not past power, nor you past cure.
Art thou so confident? Within what space hopest thou my cure?
The greatest grace, lending grace. Ere twice the horses of the sun shall bring their fiery torture his diurnal ring, ere twice in murk and occidental damp moist Hesperus hath quenched her sleepy lamp, or 24 times the pilot's glass hath taught the thievish minutes how they pass. What is infirm from your sound parts shall fly, health shall live free, and sickness freely die.
Upon thy certainty and confidence, what darest thou venture?
Tax of impudence, a strumpet's boldness, a divulgent shame, traduced by odious ballads, my maiden's name, seer and otherwise, no worse of worse extended. With vilest torture let my life be ended.
Methinks in thee some felicit spirit doth speak his powerful sound within an organ weak, and what impossibility would slay in common sense saves another way. Thy life is dear, for all that life can rate worth name of life in thee hath estimate. Youth, beauty, wisdom, courage, all that happiness and prime can happy call. Thou this to hazard, needs must intimate skill infinite, or monstrous desperate. Sweet practicer, thy physic I will try, that ministers thy own death if I die.
If I break time or flinch in property of what I spoke, unpitied let me die, and well deserved, not helping death's my fee. But if I help, what do you promise me?
Make thy demand.
But will you make it even?
I, by my scepter and my hopes of help.
Then shalt thou give me, with thy kingly hand, what husband in thy power I shall command. Exempted be from me the arrogance to choose from forth the royal flood of France, my low and humble name to propagate with any branch or image of thy state. But such a one, thy vassal, whom I know is free for me to ask thee to bestow.
Here is my hand. The premises observed, thy will by my performance shall be served. So make thy choice in thy own time, for I thy resolved, patient on thee still rely. More should I question thee, and more I must, but more to know could not be, more to trust. From whence thou camest, how tended on, but rest, unquestioned welcome, and undoubted blessed. Give me some help here. If thou proceed as high as word, my deed shall match thy deed.
They say miracles are past, and we have our philosophical persons to make modern and familiar things supernatural and causeless. Hence is it that we make trifles of terrors, ensconcing ourselves into seeming knowledge when we should submit ourselves to an unknown fear.
Which is the rarest argument of wonder that hath shot out in our latter times.
To be relinquished of the artists,
So I say both of Galen and Paracelsus.
of all the learned and authentic fellows,
Right, so I say.
that gave him out incurable,
Right, as to a man accused of a...
uncertain life and sure death.
Aye, I would say it is. I would have said too.
So, not to be helped.
It is indeed, if you'll have it in showing. You shall read about it, what you call there.
A showing of a heavenly effect in an earthly actor.
Why, there it is, so I say too.
Why, lustique. I say, your dolphin is not lustier. For me, I speak in respect.
Nay, 'tis strange, 'tis very strange, just the brief and tedious of it. And he's of a fascinerious spirit that would not acknowledge it to be the,
very hand of heaven.
Aye, so I say.
In a most sweet.
And the biominister, great power, great transcendence, which should indeed give us further use to be made, let alone the recovery of the king, as to be...
Yeah, generally thankful.
Say well, so I would have said, give them the king.
Hey, lustique as the Dutchman says. Oh, I like Mia made the better, whilst I have a tooth in my head. Why, he's able to lead her a coranto.
Mordu vinegar, is not this Helen?
For God, I think so.
Go, call before me all the lords in court. Sit, my preserver, by thy patient's side, and with this healthful hand, who's banished since thou hast repealed a second time, receive the confirmation of my promised gift, which but attends thy name. Fair maid, send forth thine eye, this youthful parcel of noble bachelors stands at thy bestowing, o'er whom a sovereign power and father's voice I have to use. Thy frank election make, thou hast power to choose, they none to forsake.
To each of you, one fair and virtuous mistress fall when love please. Marry to each but one.
Peruse them well, not one of these but had a noble father.
Gentlemen, heaven hath, through me, restored the king to health.
We understand it.
And thank heaven for you.
I am a simple maid, and therein wealthiest, that I protest I simply am a maid. Please at your majesty, I have done already. The blushes in my cheeks thus whisper me. We blush that thou shouldst choose, but we refused. Let the white death sit on thy cheek forever, will ne'er come there again.
Make choice and see who shuns thy love, shuns all his love in me.
Now, Diane, from thy altar do I fly, and to imperial love that God most high to my side stream. Sir, will you hear my plea?
And and granted.
Thanks, sir. All the rest is me.
Oh, I had rather be in this choice than throw Ames ace for my life.
The honor, sir, that flames in your fair eyes before I speak too threateningly replies. Love grant your fortunes 20 times above. Her that so wishes and her humble love.
No better, if you please.
My wish received, which straight will grant, and so I take my leave.
Oh, do all they deny her. Were they sons of mine, I'd have them whipped, or send them to the Turk to make eunuchs of.
Be not afraid that I your enemy. I'll never do you wrong for your own sake. Blessings upon your vows, and in your bed find care, if you ever will.
Oh, these boys are boys of life. They'll none have her. Sure, they are bastards to the English. French ne'er got 'em.
You are too young, too happy, or too good to make yourself a son out of my blood.
Fair one, I think not so.
Oh, there's one great yet. I'm sure thy father drunk wine, but if thou beest not an ass, I am a youth of 14. I've known thee already.
I dare not say I take you, but I give me and my service ever whilst I live into your guiding power. This is the man.
Why then, young Bertram, take her. She's thy wife.
My wife, my liege. I shall beseech your highness in such a business. Give me leave to use the help of mine own eyes.
Knowest thou not, Bertram, what she has done for me?
Yes, my good lord. But never hope to know why I should marry her.
Thou knowest she has raised me from my sickly bed.
What follows it, my lord? To bring me down must answer for your raising? I know her well. She had her breeding at my father's charge. A poor physician's daughter, my wife. Disdain rather croaked me ever.
'Tis only title thou disdainst in her, the which I can build up. Strange is it that our bloods of color, weight, and heat, poured all together, would quite confound distinction, yet stands off in differences so mighty. If she be all that is virtuous, save what thou dislikest, thou dislikest a virtue for the name. But do not so. From lowest place whence virtuous things proceed, the place is dignified by the doer's deed. Where great additions swell us and virtue none, it is a dropsy done. Good alone is good, without a name, vileness is so. The property by what it is should go, not by the title. She is young, wise, fair, in these two virtue she's immediate heir, and these breed honor. Honors thrive when rather from our acts we them derive than our foregoers. What should be said? If thou canst like this creature as a maid, I can create the rest. Virtue and she are her own dower, honor and wealth from me.
I cannot love her, nor will strive to do it.
Thou wrongst thyself if thou shouldst strive to choose.
That you are well restored, my lord. I'm glad. Let the rest go.
My honor's at the stake, which to defeat I must produce my power. Here, take her by the hand, proud, scornful boy, that dost in vile misprison shackle up our love and her desert. Check thy contempt. Obey our will which travails in thy good. Believe not thy disdain, but do thy own fortunes that obedient right which both thy duty owes and our power claims. Or I will throw you from my care forever into the staggers and the careless lapse of youthful ignorance, both my revenge and hate loosing upon thee in the name of justice without all terms of pity. Speak thine answer.
Pardon, my gracious lord, for I submit my fancy to your eyes when I consider what great creation and what dole of honor flies where you bid it. I find that she which late was in my nobler thoughts most base is now the praised of the king, who so ennobled is as 'twere born so.
Take her by the hand and tell her she is thine, to whom I promise a counterpoise, if not to thy estate, a balance more replete.
I take her hand.
Good fortune and the favor of the king smile upon this contract, whose ceremony shall seem expedient on the now born brief, and be performed tonight. The solemn feast shall more attend the coming space, expecting absent friends. As thou lovest her, thy love's to me religious. else does err.
Do you hear, monsieur?
A word with you.
So please you.
Your lord and master did well to make his recantation.
Recantation? My lord, my master?
Aye, is it not a language I speak?
A most harsh one, and not to be understood without bloody succeeding. My master?
Are you companion to the Count Rosilian?
To any count. To all counts. To what is man?
To what is Count's man, Count's master is of another stock.
You are too old. Let it beseech you. You are too old.
I must tell thee, sirrah, I, right man, to which title age cannot bring thee.
What I dare to well do, I dare not do.
Oh, I did think thee for two ordinaries to be a pretty wise fellow. Thou didst make tolerable vent of thy travels, it might pass. Oh, yet the scarves and bannerets about thee did manifoldly dissuade me from thinking thee a vessel of too great a burthen. I have now found thee. When I lose thee again, I care not. Yet art thou good for nothing, scarce taking up, and that thou art scarce worth.
Hast thou not the privilege of antiquity upon thee?
I, do not plunge thyself too far in anger, lest thou hasten thy trial, which Lord have mercy on thee for a end. So, my good window of lattice, fare thee well. Thy casement I need not open, for I look through thee.
Well, thou hast a son that shall take this disgrace off me. Scurvy, old, filthy, scurvy lord. Well, I must be patient. There's no fettering of authority. I'll beat him by my life if I can meet him with any convenience, and he were double and double a lord. I'll have no more pity of his age than I would have of... I'll beat him, and if I could but meet him again.
Sirrah! Your lord and master's married. There's news for you. You have a new mistress.
I unfeignedly beseech your lordship to make some reservation of your wrongs. He is my good lord. Whom I serve above is my master.
Who? God?
Aye, sir.
Oh, the devil it is. That's thy master. If I were but 2 hours younger, I'd beat thee. Methinks thou art a general offense, and every man should beat thee. Methinks thou wast created for men to brave themselves upon thee.
This is hard and undeserved measure, my lord.
Yeah, aye, and thou art worthy of it. And I will not bate thee a scruple. You were beaten in Italy for picking a kernel out of a pomegranate. You are a vagabond and no true traveler. You are more saucy with lords and honorable personages than the commission of your birth and virtue gives you heraldry. I believe you.
Good. Very good. Let it be so. Good, very good. Let it be concealed a while.
Done. Forfeit to cares forever.
What's the matter, sweetheart?
Before the solemn priest I have sworn, I will not bet her.
What? What, sweetheart?
Oh, my Parolles. They have married me. All to the Tuscan wars and never better.
France is a dog hole, and it merits no more than the tread of man's foot. To the wars.
There's letters from my mother. What the import is, I know not yet.
Aye, that'll be known. To the wars, my boy, to the wars. He wears his honor in a box unseen that hugs his kicky-wicky here at home, who spends his manly marrow in her arms, which should sustain the bound and high curvet of Mars's fiery steed. To other regions, France is a stable. We that dwell in it change. Therefore, to the wars.
It shall be so. I'll send her to my house. Acquaint my mother with my hate to her, and wherefore I am fled. Write to the king, for that which I durst not speak. His present gift shall furnish me to those Italian fields where noble fellows strike.
Wars is no strife to the dark house and detested wife.
Well, this capriccio holding me, art sure?
Go with me to my chamber and advise me. I'll send her straight away. Tomorrow. All to the wars. See to her single sorrow.
Why, these balls bound, there's noise in it. Just pity a man that's married is a man that's marred. Therefore, away and bravely leave her. Go, the king hath done you wrong, but hush to so. Bless you, my fortunate lady.
I hope, sir, I have your goodwill to have mine own good fortune.
You had my prayers to lead them on, and to keep them on, have them still. Madam, my lord will go away tonight. A very serious business calls on him. The great prerogative and right of love, which as your due time claims, he does acknowledge, but puts it off to a compelled restraint, whose wants and whose delays are strewn with sweets, which they distill now in the curbed time to make the coming hour flow with joy and pleasure drown the brim.
What more commands he?
That you take your present leave of the king, and with what haste make your, what strength with apology may make it probable need.
What's his will else?
That having this obtained, you presently attend his further pleasure.
In everything I wait upon his will.
I shall report it so.
But I hope your lordship thinks not him a soldier.
Yes, my lord. A very valiant proof.
You have it of his own deliverance.
And by other warranted testimony.
Then my dial goes not true, for I took this lark for a bunting.
I do assure you, my lord, he is very great in knowledge, and accordingly valiant.
Well, then I have transgressed against his experience and sinned against his valor. And for my state that way is dangerous, and I cannot yet find it in my heart to repent. Oh, here he comes. I pray you, make us friends. I will pursue the amity.
These things are done, sir.
She gone to the king.
She is.
Will she away tonight?
As you'll have her.
I have writ my letters, casketed my treasure, given order for our horses, and tonight, when I should take possession of the bride, and there I do begin.
A good traveler is something at the latter end of a dinner, but on that lies 3/3 and takes a known truth and to pass 1,000 nothing with. Should be once heard, thrice beaten. Oh, God save you, Captain.
Is there any unkindness between my lord and you, monsieur?
I know not how I have deserved to run into my lord's displeasure.
You have made shift to run into it, boots, spurs, and all, like him that leapt into the custard, and out of it again you'll return, rather than suffer question for your residence.
Maybe you have mistaken him, my lord.
Oh, I would do so ever, though I took him at his prayers. Believe this of me, my lord. There can be no carnal in this light night. The soul of this man is his clothes. Trust him not in matter of heavy consequence. Fare you well, monsieur. I have spoken better of you than you have or will to deserve of me. But we must do good against evil.
Idle lord, I swear.
I think so.
Why, do you not know him?
Yes, I do know him well, and common speech gives him a worthy pass. Here comes my clog.
I have, sir, as I was commanded from you, spoke with the king, and have procured his leave for present parting. Only he desires some further speech with you.
I shall obey his will. You must not marvel, Helen, at my course, which holds not color with the time, nor does the ministration, and required office on my particular. And I was not for such a business, therefore am I found so much unsettled. This drives me to entreat you that presently you take your way for home, and rather muse than ask why I entreat you. For my reasons are better than they seem, and my appointments have in them a need greater than shows itself at the first view, to you that know them not. This to my mother. 'Twill be 2 days ere I shall see you, so I leave you to your wisdom.
Sir, I can nothing say, but that I am your most obedient servant.
Come, no more of that.
And ever shall with true obedience seek to eke out that wherein for me my homely stars have failed to equal my great fortune.
Let that go. My haste is very great. Farewell, I hope.
Pray, sir, your pardon?
Well, what would you say?
I am not worthy of the wealth I own, nor dare I say 'tis mine, and yet it is. But like a timorous thief, most fain would steal what God has vouched mine own.
What would you have?
Something, and scarce so much. Nothing, indeed. I would not tell you what I would, my lord. Hey, yes. Strangers and foes do sunder and not kiss.
I pray you stay not, but in haste to horse.
I shall not break your bidding, good my lord. Monsieur, farewell.
Go thou toward hope, where I will never come, or else I can shake my sword or hear the drum. Away in far flight.
Bravely, Coraggio.
It hath happened all as I would have had it, save that he comes not along with her. Let me see what he writes and when he means to come. I have sent you a daughter-in-law. She hath recovered the king and undone me. I have wedded her, not bedded her, and sworn to make the knot eternal. You shall hear I am run away. Know it before the report come. If there be breath enough in the world, I will hold a long distance. My duty to you, your unfortunate son, Bertram. This is not well. Rash and unbridled boy, to fly the favors of so good a king, to pluck his indignation on thy head by the misprizing of a maid too virtuous for the contempt of empire.
Madam, yonder there is heavy news within between two soldiers and my young lady.
What is the matter?
Here they come, will tell you more. For my part, I only hear your son was run away.
Save you, good madam.
Madam, my lord is gone, forever gone.
Do not say so.
Think upon patience, pray you, gentlemen. I have felt so many quirks of joy and grief that the first face of neither on the start can woman me unto it. Where is my son? I pray you.
Madam, he's gone to serve the Duke of Florence. We met him thitherward from thence we came, and after some dispatch in hand at court, thither we bend again.
Look on his letter, madam. Here's my passport. When thou canst get the ring upon my finger, which never shall come off, and show me a child begotten of thy body that I am father to, then call me husband. But in such a then, I write a never. This is a dreadful sentence.
Brought you this letter, gentlemen.
Aye, madam, and for the content's sake, are sorry for our pains.
I prithee, lady, have a better cheer. If thou engrossest all the griefs are thine, thou robst me of a moiety. He was my son, but I do wash his name out of my blood, and thou art all my child. Toward Florence, is he?
Aye, madam.
And to be a soldier?
Such is his noble purpose, and believe it, the Count will lay upon him all the honor that good convenience claims.
Return you thither?
Aye, madam, with the swiftest wing of speed.
Till I have no wife, I have nothing in France. 'Tis bitter.
Find you that there?
Aye, madam.
'Tis but the boldness of his hand, haply, which his heart was not consenting to.
Nothing in France until he have no wife. There's nothing here that is too good for him, but only she. And she deserves a lord that 20 such rude boys might tend upon and call her hourly mistress. Who was with him?
A gentleman, which I have sometime known.
Parolles, was it not?
Aye, my good lady, he.
A very tainted fellow and full of wickedness. My son corrupts a well-derided nature with his inducement.
Indeed, good lady, the fellow has a deal of that. Too much, which holds him much to have.
You are welcome, gentlemen. When you see my son, I will entreat you to tell him that his sword can never win the honor that he loses. More, I'll entreat you witty to bear along.
We serve you, madam, in that and all your worthiest affairs.
Not so. But as we change our courtesies, will you draw near?
Till I have no wife, I have nothing in France. Nothing in France, until he have no wife. Thou shalt have none, Russillian, none in France. Then hast thou all again. Poor Lord, is it I that chase thee from thy country and expose those tender limbs of thine to the event of the none-sparing war? And is it I that drive thee from the sportive court, where thou wast shot at with fair eyes, to be the mark of smoking muskets? Oh, you leaden messengers that ride upon the violent speed of fire, fly with false aim, move the still peering air that sings with piercing. Do not touch my lord. Whoever shoots at him, I set him there. And though I kill him not, I am the cause his death was so effected. Come thou home, Russillian, whence honor but of danger wins a star as oft it loses all. I will be gone. My being here it is that holds thee hence. Shall I stay here to do it? No. Although the air of paradise that fan the house and angels off a stall, I will be gone, that pitiful rumor may report my flight to consolate thine ear. Come night and day, for with the dark, poor thief, I'll steal away.
And would you take the letter of her? Might you not know she would do as she has done by sending me a letter? Read it again.
I am Saint Jaques' pilgrim, thither gone. Ambitious love hath so in me offended, that barefoot plod I the cold ground upon, with sainted vow my faults to have amended. Right, that from the bloody course of war, my dearest master, your dear son may hide. Bless him at home in peace, whilst I from far his name with zealous fervor sanctify. His taken labors bid him me forgive. I, his despiteful Juno, sent him forth from courtly friends with camping foes to live, where death and danger dogs the heels of worth. He is too good and fair for death, and me, whom I myself embrace to set him free.
Ah, what sharp words are in her mildest words. Rinaldo, you did never lack advice so much as letting her pass so. Had I spoke with her, I could have well diverted her intents, which thus she hath prevented.
Pardon me, madam, if I had given you this at overnight, she may have been ordained, and yet she writes, pursuit would be but vain.
Right, Rinaldo, to this unworthy husband of his wife, let every word weigh heavy of her worth, that he does weigh too light. My greatest grief, though little he do feel it, set down sharply. Dispatch the most convenient messenger. When haply he shall hear that she is gone, he will return, and hope I may that she, hearing so much, will speed her foot again, led hither by pure love. Which of them both is dearest to me, I have no skill in sense to make distinction. Provide this messenger. My heart is heavy, and mine age is weak. Grief would have tears, and sorrow bids me speak.
"15 minutes hence is intermission. Move your body to a new position. They call me coward, say I don't pass muster, but I'll show them I'm more than bluff and bluster. My good Lord Bertram keeps me by his side. I'll take his coin, for I have no sense of pride. You think my purse be thin? Gazebo players, where do I begin? It cost us much to be with you today, and summer next, you'll want another play. Our sponsors keep us going with their dough, Needham Bank, the Lions, and Memo. Their ads provide us with some funds to tap, but now we must pass the hat to bridge the gap. If all pitch in, our wallet will grow thick, and when we return, the infamous bed trick.
If they do approach the city, we shall lose all the sight. Save the French count to most honorable
He is supported, and that he has taken greatest commander, and with his own hand he slew the Duke's brother. We have lost our labor. They are gone a contrary way. Hark, you may know by their trumpets. Well, Diana, take heed of this French earl. The honor of a maid is her name, and no legacy so rich as honesty. So beware that knave, hang him, one Parolles, a filthy officer he is in those suggestions he makes for the young earl. Beware of them, Diana. They are promises, enticements, oaths, tokens are not the things that they go under. Many a maid hath been seduced by them, and the misery is example. I hope I need not to advise you further, and I hope by your grace you stay where you are, though there were no further dangers known, but the modesty which is so lost.
You need not to fear me.
I hope so. Look, here comes a pilgrim. I know she will lie at my house. Thither they send one another. I'll question her. God save you, pilgrim. Whither are bound?
To St. Jacques le Grand? Where do the Palmers lodge? I do beseech you.
Oh, at the St. Francis here beside the port.
Is this the way?
And Mary ist. If you will stay, but till the troops come by, holy pilgrim, I will conduct you where you shall be lodged. The rather for I think I know your hostess as ample as myself.
Is it yourself?
You shall please so, pilgrim.
I thank you and will stay upon your leisure.
You came, I think, from France?
I did so.
Now, here you should see a countryman of yours that has done worthy service.
His name, I pray you.
The Count Rosilian. Know you such a one?
But by the ear that hears most nobly of him, his face I know not.
What summer he is, he's bravely taken here. He stole from France, as 'tis reported, for the king had married him against his liking. Think you it is so?
Aye, surely, near the truth. I know his lady.
There's a gentleman that serves the count, reports but coarsely of him.
What's his name?
Monsieur Parolles.
Oh, I believe with him, in argument of praise or to the worth of the great count himself, she is too mean to have her name repeated. All her deserving is a reserved honesty, and that I have not heard examined.
Alas, poor lady, 'tis a hard bondage to become the wife of a detesting lord.
Ay, right good creature, wheresoe'er she is, her heart weighs sadly. This young maid could do her a shrewd turn if she pleased.
How do you mean? Maybe the amorous count solicits her in the unlawful purpose?
Oh, he does indeed, and brokes with all that can corrupt the tender honor of a maid. But she is armed for him and keeps her guard in honestest defense.
The gods forbid else.
So now they come. That is Antonio, the Duke's eldest son, and that Aeschylus.
Which is the Frenchman?
He, that with the plume, 'tis a most gallant fellow. I would he loved his wife. If you're honester, you're much goodlier. It's not a handsome gentleman.
I like him well.
'Tis pity he's not honest. Yon's the same knave that leads him to these places. Were I his lady, I would poison that vile rascal.
Which is he?
That jackanapes with scarves. Why is he melancholy?
Perchance he's hurt in the battle.
Who's our drum? Well,
He's shrewdly vexed at something. Look, he espied us.
Marrying you!
And your courtesy for a ring carrier.
The troop is past. Come, pilgrim. I will take you where you shall lodge. Of enjoined penitence, there's 4 or 5 to great St. Jacques bound already at my house.
I humbly thank you.
Nay, good my lord, put him to it. Let him have his way.
If your lordship find him not a hilding, hold me no more in your respect.
On my life, my lord, a bubble.
Do you think I am so far deceived in him?
Believe it, my lord, he's a most notable coward, an infinite and endless liar,
an hourly promise breaker, the owner of no one good quality, worthy your lordship's entertainment.
It were fit you knew him, least reposing too far in his virtue, which he hath not. He might at some great and trusty business in a main danger fail you.
I would I knew in what particular action to try him.
None better than to let him fetch off his drum, which you hear him so confidently undertake to do.
I, with a troop of Florentines, will suddenly surprise him. Such I will have, though I am sure he knows not from the enemy. We will bind and hoodwink him so that he shall suppose no other that he is being carried into the leaguer of the adversary when we bring him into our tents. Be but your lordship present at his examination. If he do not, for the promise of his life and the highest compulsion of base fear, offer to betray you and deliver all the intelligence in his power against you, and that with the divine forfeit of his soul upon oath. Never trust my judgment in anything.
Oh, for the love of laughter, let him fetch his drum. He says he has a stratagem for it. Here he comes.
Oh, for the love of laughter, hinder not the honor of his design. Let him fetch off his drum in any hand.
How now, monsieur? This drum sticks sorely in your disposition.
Ah, pox on it. Let it go. 'Tis but a drum.
What, a drum? Tis but a drum? A drum so lost. It was excellent command to charge in with our horse upon our own wings and to rend our own soldiers.
That was not to be blamed on the command of the service. It was a disaster of war that Caesar himself could not have prevented if he had been there to command.
Well, we cannot greatly condemn our success. Some dishonor we had in the loss of that drum, but it is not to be recovered.
It might have been recovered.
It might, but it is not now.
It is to be recovered. I will have that drum or another or hickeyakis.
Why? If you have a stomach to it, monsieur, if you think your mystery in stratagem can bring this instrument of honor again into his native quarter, be magnanimous in the enterprise and go on. I will grace the attempt for a worthy exploit.
By the hand of a soldier, I will undertake it.
But you must not now slumber.
I will about it this evening, and presently pen down my dilemmas, encourage myself in my certainty, prepare myself for my mortal preparation, and by midnight look to hear further from me.
I know thou art valiant, and to the possibility of thy soldiership will subscribe for thee. Farewell.
I love not many words.
No more than a fish loves water. Is not this a strange fellow, my lord, that so confidently seems to undertake this business, which he knows is not to be done, dares himself to do it, and dares better be damned than to do it?
You do not know him, my lord, as we do. Certain it is that he will steel himself into a man's favor and for a week escape a great deal of discoveries. But when you find him out, you have him ever after.
Why? Do you think he will make no deed at all of this that so seriously he does address himself unto?
None in the world but return with an invention and clap upon you 2 or 3 probable lives, but we have almost embossed him. You shall see him fall tonight. For indeed, he is not of your lordship's respect.
We'll make you some sport with the fox ere we case him.
Your brother, he shall go along with me.
As please your lordship, I'll leave you.
Now will I lead you to the house and show you the lass I spoke of.
But you say she's honest?
That's all the fault. I spoke with her but once and found her wondrous cold. But I sent to her by this same coxcomb that we have in the wind, tokens and letters, which she did resend. And this is all I have done. She's a fair creature. Will you go see her?
With all my heart, my lord.
I am not she, I know not how I shall assure you further, but I shall lose the grounds I work upon.
Though my estate be fallen, I was well born, nothing acquainted with these businesses, and would not put my reputation now in any staining act.
Nor would I wish you. First, give me trust. The Count, he is my husband, And what to your sworn counsel I have spoken is so, from word to word. And then you cannot, by that good aid that I of you shall borrow, err in bestowing it.
I should believe you, for you've shown me that which well approves your great in fortune.
Take this purse of gold, and let me buy your friendly help thus far, which I will overpay and pay again when I have found it. The Count, he woos your daughter, lays down his wanton siege before her beauty, resolved to carry her, let her in fine consent, as we'll direct her how 'tis best to bear it. Now his important blood will not deny that she'll demand a ring the Count he wears, that downward hath succeeded in his house from son to son some 4 or 5 descents since the first father wore it. This ring he holds in most rich choice, yet in his idle fire to buy his will it would not seem too dear, howe'er repented after.
Now I see the bottom of your purpose.
You see it lawful then, it is no more, but that your daughter, ere she seems as one, desires this ring, appoints him an encounter, in fine, delivers me to fill the time, herself most chastely absent. After, to marry her, I'll add 3,000 crowns to what is past already.
I have yielded. Instruct my daughter how she shall persever. That time and place with this deceit so lawful may prove coherent. Every night he comes with musics of all sorts and songs composed to her unworthiness. It nothing stays us to chide him from our eaves, for he persists as if his life lay on it.
Why then tonight let us essay our plot, which, if it speed, is wicked meaning in a lawful deed, and lawful meaning in a lawful act, where both not sin, but yet a sinful fact. But let's about it.
He can come no other way but by this hedge corner. When you sally upon him, speak what terrible language you will, though you understand it not yourselves, no matter. For we must not seem to understand him, unless someone among us, whom we must produce for an interpreter.
Oh, good captain, let me be the interpreter.
Art not acquainted with him? Knows he not thy voice?
No, sir, I warrant you.
He must think us a band of strangers in the adversary's entertainment. Now, he hath a smack of all neighboring languages. Therefore, we must every one be a man of his own fancy, not to know what we speak one to another. So we seem to know is to know straight our purpose. Now, as for you, interpreter, you must seem very politic. But Count Hoer, here he comes, to beguile 2 hours in a sleep, and then to return and swear the lies he forges.
10 o'clock. In these 3 hours, it'll be time enough to go home. What shall I say I've done? Must be a very plausible invention that carries me. They begin to smoke me, and disgraces have of late knocked too often at my door. I find my tongue is too foolhardy, but my heart hath the fear of Mars before and of his creatures, not daring the reports of my tongue.
This is the first truth that their tongue was guilty of.
What the devil should move me to undertake the recovery of this drum, being not ignorant of the impossibility and knowing I had no such purpose? I must give myself some hurts and say I got them an exploit. Yet slight ones will not carry it. They'll say, came you off with so little? And great ones I dare not give, therefore, it's the instance.
Is it possible he should know what he is and be what he is?
The cutting of my garment might serve the turn.
We cannot afford you so.
I could draw on my clothes and say I was stripped.
Hardly serve.
Though I swore I leapt from the window of the citadel.
How deep?
30 fathom.
3 great oaths could scarcely make that believe.
I would have had any drum of the enemies. I would swear I recovered.
You shall. Hear one anon.
Drum now of the enemies. I know you are the Frenchman, and I will lose my life for want of language. If there be be any here, Italian or Dutch, Low Dane, German or French, let him speak to me. I'll speak that which shall undo the Florentine.
Boscos, Bavado, I understand thee and can speak thy tongue. Carali Monto, sir, betake thee to thy faith, for 17 poniards are at thy bosom. Oh, pray, 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 Monca Revagna Dolce.
Oscar Paducos Filiarco.
Our general is content to spare thee yet, and hoodwinked as thou art, will lead thee on to gather from thee. Haply thou mayest inform something to save thy life.
Oh, let me live, and the secrets of our camp I'll show. Their numbers, their purposes, nay, I'll speak that which you will wonder at.
But wilt thou faithfully?
If I do not, damn me.
Accordo Linta, come on, thou art granted space.
They told me that your name was Fontybell,
No, my good lord, Diana.
titled goddess, and worth it with addition. Fair soul, in your fine frame hath love no quality. If the quick fire of youth lights not your mind, you are no maiden but a monument. When you are dead, you should be such a one as you are now, for you are cold and stern, and now you should be as your mother was when your sweet self was gone.
She then was honest.
So should you be.
No, my mother did but duty, such, my lord, as you owe to your wife.
No more of that. I prithee do not strive against my vow. I was compelled to her, but I love thee. I love's own sweet constraint, and will forever do thee all rights of service.
Aye, so you serve us till we serve you. But when you have our roses, you barely leave our thorns to prick ourselves and mock us with our bareness.
How have I sworn?
'Tis not the many oaths that makes the truth, but the plain single vow that is vowed true. What is not holy, what we swear not by, but take the highest to witness. Then pray you tell me, if I should swear by Jove's great attributes I loved you dearly, would you believe my oaths when I did love you ill? This has no holding to swear by him if I protest to love that I will work against him. Therefore your oaths are words and poor conditions, but unsealed at least in my opinion.
Change it. Change it. Be not so wholly cruel. Love is holy. My integrity ne'er knew the crafts that you do charge men with. And is no more all. Give thyself unto my sick desires, who then recovers. Say thou art mine, and ever my love as it begins shall so persever.
I see that men make ropes in such a scar that we'll forsake ourselves. Give me that ring.
I'll lend it to thee, my dear, but have no power to give it from me.
Will you not, my lord?
It is an honor belonging to our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy in the world in me to lose.
Mine honor such a ring. My chastity is the jewel of our house, bequeathed down from many ancestors, which were the greatest obloquy in the world in me to lose. Thus, your own proper wisdom brings in the champion honor on my part against your vain assault.
Here, take my ring, my house, mine honor. Yea, my life be thine, and I'll be bid by thee.
When midnight comes, knock at my chamber window. I'll order take, my mother shall not hear. Now will I charge you in the band of truth. When you have conquered my yet maiden bed, remain there but an hour, nor speak to me. My reasons are most strong, and you shall know them, and back again this ring shall be delivered. And on your finger in the night put another ring, that what in time proceeds may token to the future our past deeds. Adieu, till then fail not. You have won a wife of me, though there my hope be done.
Heaven on earth, I have won by wooing thee.
For which live long to thank both heaven and me. You may so in the end. My mother told me just how he'd woos, that she saw it in his heart. She says all men have like oaths. He had sworn to marry me when his wife's dead. Therefore, I'll lie with him when I am buried. Since Frenchmen are so braid, marry that will. I live and die a maid. Only in this disguise I think it no sin to cozen him that would unjustly win.
Ma, he's starting in again. Oh, Ma, he's driving me in.
You have not given him his mother's letter.
I have delivered it an hour since, but there is something in it that stings his nature. For on the reading it, he changed almost into another man.
He has much worthy blame laid upon him for shaking off so good a wife and so sweet a lady.
Especially he hath incurred the everlasting displeasure of the king, who had even tuned his bounty to sing happiness to him. I will tell you a thing, but you shall let it dwell darkly with you.
When you have spoken it, 'tis dead, and I am the grave of it.
He hath perverted a young gentlewoman here in Florence of a most chaste renown, and this night he fleshes his will in the spoil of her honor. He hath given her his monumental ring, and thinks himself made in the unchaste composition.
We shall not then have his company tonight.
Not till after midnight, for he is dieted to his hour.
That approaches apace.
We will not meddle with him till he comes, for his presence must be the whip of the other.
Well, in the meantime, what hear you of these wars?
I hear there is an overture of peace.
Nay, I assure you, a peace concluded.
What will Count Resilient do then? Will he travail higher or return again into France?
Sir, his wife some 2 months since fled from his house. Her pretense is a pilgrimage to St. Jacques-le-Grand, which, wholly undertaken with most austere sanctimony, she accomplished. And there residing, the tenderness of her nature became as a prey to her grief. In fine, made a groan of her last breath, and now she sings in heaven.
How is this justified?
The stronger part of it by her own letters, which makes her story true even to the point of her death. Her death itself, which could not be her office to say, is come, was faithfully confirmed by the rector of the place.
Hath the Count all this intelligence?
Aye, and the particular confirmations point from point to the full arming of the verity.
I am heartily sorry he'll be glad of it.
How now, my lord? Is not after midnight?
I have tonight dispatched 16 businesses, a month's length apiece by an abstract of success. I have conjured with the Duke, done my adieu with his nearest, writ to my lady mother that I am returning, buried my wife, mourned for her, entertained my convoy, and between these main parcels of dispatch, effected many nicer needs. The last was the greatest, but that I have not ended yet.
If the business be of any difficulty in this morning your departure hence, it requires haste of your lordship.
I mean, it is not yet ended as fearing to hear of it hereafter. But shall we have this dialogue between the fool and the soldier? Come, bring forth this counterfeit module. Has deceived me like a double-meaning prophesy.
Bring him forth! Sat in the stocks all night, poor gallant knave.
No matter. His heels have deserved it, usurping his spurs for so long. How does he carry himself?
I have told your lordship already. The stocks carry him. But to answer you as you would be understood, he weeps like a wench that has shed her milk. He hath confessed himself to Morgan, who he supposes to be a friar, from the time of his remembrance to this very instant disaster of his sitting in the stocks. And what think you he hath confessed?
Nothing of me, Asa.
His confession is taken, it shall be read to his face. If your lordship be in it, as I believe you are, you must have the patience to hear it.
Plague upon him, muffled. He'd say nothing of me. Hush, hush.
Hoodman comes. Porto Tatarosa!
He calls for the tortured. What will you say without him?
I will confess what I know without constraint. If you pitch me like a pasty, I can say no more.
Bosco Timurcho.
Biblimundo Turkey Marco.
Oh, you are a merciful general. Our general bids you to answer what I shall ask you out of a note.
And surely as I hope to live.
First, demand of him how many horrors the Duke is strong. What say you to that?
5 or 6,000, but very poor and unserviceable. The troops are all scattered, and the commanders very poor rogues, upon my reputation and credit, and as I hope to live.
What a past-saving slave is this?
Oh, you are deceived, my lord. This is Monsieur Parolles, the gallant militarist. That was his own phrase. That had the entire theoric of war in the knot of his scarf and the practice in the shape of his dagger.
I will never trust a man again for keeping his sword clean, nor believe he can have everything in him by wearing his apparel neatly.
Well, that set down.
5,000 or 6,000 horse, I said. For I'll speak true, and thereby sit down, for I speak truth.
He's very near the truth in this.
But I call him no thanks for it, in the nature that he delivers it.
How many strong is he afoot? What say you to that?
By my troth, shall I live this present hour, I'll speak true. Let me see. Spurio, 150 each. Sebastian, so many. Columbus, so many. Jaques, so many. Giltian, Ludovic, and Gratti, 250 each. Mine own company, Chinifer, Valmont, and Benty, 250 each. The muster file, rotten and sound, upon my life amounts not to 15,000 pole. After which dare not shake off the snow from off their cassocks, lest they shake themselves to pieces.
What shall be done to him?
Nothing, but let him have thanks. Demand of him my condition and what credit I have with the Duke.
Well, that's set down. You shall demand of him whether there be one Captain Dumaine in the camp, a Frenchman. What is his reputation with the Duke, his valor, honesty, and expertness in wars, or whether he think it might be possible with well-weighing sums of gold to corrupt him to a revolt. What do you say to this? What do you know of it?
I beseech you to let me answer to the particular of the interrogatories. Demand them singly.
Do you know this Captain Dumaine?
I know him. Was a butcher's apprentice in Paris that got whipped for getting the Shreve's fool's child. A dumb innocent that none can say him nay.
Nay, by your leave, hold your hands. Do I know his brains are forfeit to the next tile that falls?
Well, is this captain in the Duke of Florence's camp?
Upon my knowledge, he is lousy.
Hey, look not so puffy. We shall hear of your lord anon.
What is his reputation with the Duke?
The Duke knows him for none other than a poor officer of mine, and sent me a letter to take him out the band.
Oh, Mary, we'll search.
Mary, I do not know. Either his letter is with me or it is with his other letters in my tent.
Here 'tis. Here's a paper. Shall I read it to you?
I do not know if it be it or no.
Our interpreter does it well.
Excellently.
Diane, the Count's a fool and full of gold.
That's not the Duke's letter. That's an advertisement to a maid in Florence, one Diana, to heed the allurement of one Count Racilian, a very foolish and idle boy, but for all that very ruddish. I pray you put it up again.
Nay, I'll read it first, by your favor.
I must protest the honesty of the maid, for I knew the Count Racilian to be a lascivious and dangerous young boy, who is a whale to virginity, and devours up all the fry it finds.
When he swears oaths, bid him drop gold and stake it. After he scores, he never pays the score. Half won is match well made, match and well make it. He ne'er pays after debts, take it before, and say a soldier, Diane, told thee this. Men are to mell with, boys are but not to kiss. For count of this, the Count's a fool, I know it, who pays before, but not when he does owe it. This as he vowed to thee in thine ear, Parole.
He shall be whipped through the army with this rhyme in his forehead.
I perceive, sir, by your general's looks, we shall be fain to hang you.
My life in any case. Not that I'm afraid to die, but my offenses being many, I would repent the remainder of nature. Let me live, sir, in the stocks, in a dungeon, or anywhere so that I may live.
Well, we'll see what may be done so that you confess freely. Therefore, once more to this Captain Dumaine. You have answered to his reputation with the Duke, and to his valor. What is his honesty?
He professes not the keeping of oaths. In breaking them, he is stronger than Hercules. He will lie, sir, with such volubility, you will think truth were a fool. I can say no more, sir, about his honesty.
I begin to love him for this.
For this description of thine honesty, a pox upon him for me, he's more and more a cat.
What's his brother, the other Captain Dumaine?
Why does he ask him of me?
What's he?
Eating a crow of the same nest. Not altogether so great as the first in goodness, but greater a great deal in evil. He excels his brother for a coward, yet his brother is reputed the best that is. In a retreat, he outruns any lackey. Marry and coming on, he has the cramp.
To save thy life, will you undertake to betray the Florentine?
Aye, and the captain of his horse, Count Racilian.
I'll whisper with the general and know his pleasure.
Oh, no more of drumming. Plague of all drums, only to beguile the supposition of that lascivious young boy, the Count, if I run into this danger. Yet, who would have suspected an ambush where I was taken?
There is no remedy, sir, but you must hang. The general says you that have so traitorously delivered the secrets of your army and made such pestiferous reports of men very nobly held can serve the world for no honest use. Therefore you must die. Come, headsman, off with his head.
Oh, Lord, sir, let me live. Let me see my dad.
Well, that shall you, and take leave of all your friends. So, look about you. Know you any here?
Good morrow, noble captain.
God bless you, Captain Paroles.
God save you, noble captain.
Captain, what greeting will you to my lord lift you? I am for France.
Good captain, will you give me a copy of the sonnet you writ to Diana in behalf of the Count Racilian? And I were not a very coward, I'd compel it of you. But fare you well.
You are undone, sir, all but your scarf. That has a knot in it yet.
Who could not be crushed with a blot?
Fare ye well, sir. I am for France too. We shall speak of you there.
Yet, I am thankful. My heart were great to burst at this. Captain, I'll be no more. I will eat, drink, and sleep as soft as captain shall. Simply the thing I am shall make me live. Who knows himself a braggart? Let him fear this. For it shall come to pass that every braggart shall be found an ass. I'll after them.
That you may well perceive I have not wronged you, one of the greatest in the Christian world shall be my surety. Time was I did him a desired office dear almost as his life, which gratitude through flinty Tartar's bosom would peep forth and answer thanks. I duly am informed. His grace is at Marseilles, to which place we have convenient convoy. You must know, I am supposed dead. The army breaking, my husband hies him home, where, heaven aiding, and by the leave of my good lord the king, will be before our welcome.
Gentle madam, you never had a servant to whose trust your business was more welcome.
Nor your mistress, ever a friend whose thoughts more truly labor to recompense your love. Doubt not but heaven hath brought me up to be your daughter's dower, as it hath fated her to be my motive and helper to a husband. But more of this hereafter. You, Diana, under my poor instructions, yet must suffer something on my behalf.
Let death and honesty go with your impositions. I'm yours upon your will to suffer.
Yet I pray you. Our wagon is prepared, and time revives us. All's well that ends well, still defines the crown. Whate'er the course, the end is the renown.
Your son was misled by a snipped taffeta fellow there, whose villainous saffron would have made all the unbaked and dewy youth of a nation in his color. Your daughter-in-law here at home, alive. Your son, more advanced by the king than by that red-tailed humblebee I speak of.
I would I had not known him. It was the death of the most virtuous gentlewoman that ever nature had praised for creating. If she had partaken of my flesh and cost me the dearest groans of a mother, I could not have owed her a more rooted love.
Oh, 'twas a good lady. 'Twas a good lady. We may pick 1,000 salads ere we light upon such another herb. I was about to tell you, upon hearing of the good lady's death and the return of your son here at home, I moved the king, my master, to speak in the behalf of my daughter, in which the minority of them both, he out of a self-gracious remembrance hath promised and first proposed. He hath promised me to do it. How does your ladyship like it?
With very much content, my lord, and I wish it happily effected.
He comes post from Marcellus, as fit a body as winning numbered 30. We'll be here tomorrow.
It rejoices me that I hope I shall see him ere I die. I have letters that my son will be here tonight. I shall beseech your lordship to remain with me till they meet together.
This exceeding posting day and night must wear your spirits low. In happy time, this man may help me to his majesty's ear if he would spend his power. God save you, sir.
And you?
Sir, I have seen you in the court of France.
I have been sometimes there.
I do presume, sir, that you are not fallen from the report that goes upon your goodness.
What's your will?
That it shall please you to give this poor petition to the king, and aid me with that store of power you have to come into his presence.
The king's not here.
Not here, sir.
Not indeed. He hence removed last night, and with more haste than is his use.
Lord, how we lose our pains! All's well that ends well yet, though times seem so adverse and means unfit. I do beseech you, whither is he gone?
Marry, as I take it, to Resilium, whither I am going.
I do beseech you, since you are like to see the king before me, commend this paper to his gracious hand. I will come after you with what good speed our means may make us means.
This I'll do for you.
And you shall find yourself to be well thanked, whatever falls more.
I have ere now, sir, been better known to you when I held familiarity with fresher clothes. But I am now, sir, muddied in fortune's mood and smell somewhat strong of her strong displeasure. My lord, I am a man whom fortune hath cruelly scratched.
What would you have me to do? 'Tis too late to pare her nails now. Wherein have you played the knave with fortune that she should so scratch you? Who of herself is a good lady and would not have knaves strive long under? Let the justices make you and fortune friends. I am for other business.
I beseech your lord, but one single word.
Oh, you beg a single penny more. Come, you shall have it. Save your word.
My name, my good lord, is Perolus.
You beg more than word, then. Cox my passion. Give me your hand. How's that your job?
Good, my lord. You were the first that found me.
Oh, was I in sooth? And I was the first that lost thee.
It lies in you, my lord, to bring me in some grace, for indeed you did bring me out.
Oh, out upon thee, knave, dost thou put upon me at once both the office of God and the devil. One brings thee in grace, the other brings thee out. The king's coming. I know by his trumpets. Sirrah, inquire further after me. I had talk of you last night. Though you are a fool and a knave, you shall eat. Go to, follow.
I praise God for you.
We lost a jewel of her, and our esteem was made much poorer by it. But your son, as mad in folly, lacked the sense to know her estimation home.
'Tis past, my liege, and I beseech your majesty to make it natural rebellion, done in the blade of youth, when oil and fire are too strong for reason's force, or bears it and burns on.
My honorable lady, we have forgiven and forgotten all, though my revenges were high bent upon him and watched the time to shoot.
This I must say, but first I beg my pardon. The young lord, to his majesty, his mother, and his lady, offense a mighty note, but to himself, the greatest wrong of all, he lost a wife, whose beauty did astonish the survey of richest eyes, whose words all ears took captive, whose dear perfection hearts that scorn to serve humbly call mistress.
Praising what is lost makes the remembrance dear. Well, call him hither. We are reconciled, and the first view shall kill all repetition. Let him not ask our pardon. The nature of his great offense is dead, and deeper than oblivion we do bury the incensing relics of it. Let him approach a stranger, no offender, and inform him. So 'tis our will he should.
I shall, my liege.
What says he to your daughter? Have you spoke?
All that he is hath reference to your highness.
I have letters sent me that sets him high in fame.
He looks well on it.
I am not a day of season, for thou mayest see a sunshine and a hail in me at once. But to the brightest beams distracted clouds give way. So stand thou forth, the time is fair again.
My high repented blames. Dear sovereign, pardon to me.
All is whole. Not one word more of the consumed time. Let's take the instant by the forward top, for we are old, and on our quickest decrees the inaudible and noiseless foot of time steals ere we can effect them. You remember the daughter of this lord?
Admiringly, my liege. At first I stuck my choice upon her, ere my heart durst make too bold a herald of my tongue, where the impression of mine eye in fixing contempt his scornful perspective did lend to me, which warped the line of every other favor, scorned a fair color, or expressed it stolen, extended or contracted all proportions to a most hideous object. Thence it came that she whom all men praised, and whom myself, since I have lost, have loved, was in mine eye the dust that did offend it.
Well excused, that thou didst love her, strikes some scores from the great comp. But love that comes too late, like a remorseful pardon, slowly carried to the great sender, turns a sour offense, crying, that's good, that's gone. Our rash faults make trivial price of serious things we have, not knowing them until we know their grave. Let this be sweet Helen's now, and now forget her. Send forth your amorous token for the fair Madeline. The main consents are had, and here we'll stay to see our widower's second marriage day. Which better than the first? Oh, dear heaven bless. Or ere they meet, in me, oh, nature cess.
Come, my son, in whom my house's name must be digested. Give a favor from you to sparkle in the spirits of my daughter, that she may quickly come.
By my old beard and every hair that's on it. Sweet Helen that's dead. The last, such a ring as this. The last that e'er I took her leave at court. I saw upon her finger.
Hers it was not.
Now pray you, let me see it, for mine eye, while I was speaking oft, was fastened to it. This ring was mine. And when I gave it Helen, I bade her, if her fortunes ever stood necessity to help, that by this token I would relieve her. Had you that craft to relieve her of what should stead her most?
My gracious sovereign, how
ere it pleases you to take it so, the ring was never hers.
Son, on my life, I have seen her wear it, and she reckoned it at her life's rate.
I am sure I saw her wear it.
You're deceived, my lord. In Florence was it from a casement thrown me, wrapped in a paper, which contained the name of her that threw it. Noble she was, and died stood engaged. But when I had subscribed to mine own fortune, and informed her fully I could not answer in that course of honor, as she had made the overture, she ceased in heavy satisfaction, and would never receive the ring again.
Plutus himself that knows the tinct and multiplying medicine hath not in nature's mystery more science than I have in this ring. 'Twas mine, 'twas Helen's, whoever gave it you. Then, if you know that you are well acquainted with yourself, confess 'twas hers, and by what rough enforcement you got it from her. She called the saints to surety that she would never put it from her finger unless she gave it to yourself in bed where you have never come, or sent it us upon her great disaster.
She never saw it.
Thou speak'st it falsely, as I love mine honor, and makes conjectural fears come into me. And yet I know not thou didst hate her deadly, and she is dead, which nothing but to close her eyes myself could win me to believe more than to see this ring. Take him away, we'll sift this matter further.
If ye shall prove this ring was ever hers, ye shall have easy prove that husband in her bed of course, for yet she never was.
Gracious sovereign, whether I have been to blame or no, I know not. Here is a petition from a Florentine who hath through 4 or 5 removes come short to tender it herself. And she told me in a sweet verbal brief it did concern your highness with herself. Apron his many pustule. That can't be right. Young lady, come hither. Pray you, wilt thou hold this? 1,000 blessings on you. No, this way so I can think. 1,000 blessings. Upon his many protestations to marry when his wife was dead, I blush to say it, he won me. Now is the Count Racilian a widower. His vows are forfeited to me, and my honor is paid to him. Pray you move your finger. He stole from Florence, taking no leave, and I follow him to his country for justice. Granted me, O king, in you it best lies. Otherwise, a seducer flourishes, and a poor maid is undone. Diana Capulet.
I'll buy me a son-in-law an affair and toll for this. He's not for mine.
The heavens have thought well on thee, Lafeu, to bring forth this discovery. Seek these suitors. Go speedily and bring again the count. I am afeard the life of Helen, lady, was foully snatched.
Now justice on the doers.
I wonder, sir, since wives are monsters to you, and that you flee them as you offer lordship, yet you would marry. What woman's that?
I am, my lord, a wretched Florentine, derived from the ancient Capulet. My suit, as I do understand, you know, and therefore know how far I may be pitied.
And I am her mother, sir, whose age and honor both suffer under this complaint we bring, and both shall cease without your remedy.
Come hither, Count. Do you know these women?
My lord, I neither can nor will deny but that I know them. Do they charge me further?
Why do you look so strange upon your wife?
She's none of mine, my lord.
If you shall marry, you give away this hand, and that is mine. You give away heaven's vows, and those are mine. You give away myself, and that is known mine. For I by vow am so embodied yours as she which marries you must marry me, either both or none.
Your reputation comes too short for my daughter. You are no husband for her.
My lord, this is a fond and desperate creature whom sometime I have laughed with, like your highness, I have more noble thought, upon mine honor, than for to think that I would sink it here.
Sir, from my thoughts you have them ill to friend, till your deeds pay them fairer. Prove your honor, then in my thought it lies.
Good my lord, ask him upon his oath if he does think he had not my virginity.
What say you to her?
She's impudent, my lord, and was a common gamester for the camp.
He does me wrong, my lord. If I were so, he might have bought me at a common price. Oh, behold this ring, whose high respect and rich validity did not the parallel, yet for all that he gave it to a commoner at the camp if I be one.
He blushes, and 'tis hit. Of 6 preceding ancestors, that gem, conferred by testament to the sequent issue, hath it been owned and worn. This is his wife, that rings 1,000 proofs.
Methought you said you saw one here who could witness it.
I did, my lord, but loath him to produce so bad an instrument. His name is Parolus.
Oh, I saw the man today, my lord. If man he be.
Find him and bring him hither.
What of him? He's quoted for a most perfidious slave with all the spots of the world taxed and debauched.
She hath that ring of yours.
I think she has. Certain it is. I liked her, and boarded her in the wanton way of youth. She knew her distance, and did angle for matting my eagerness with her restraint, as all impediments in fancy's course are motives to more fancy. And, in fine, her in sweet coming with her modern grace subdued me to her rate. She got the ring, and I had that which any inferior might at market price have bought.
I must be patient. You that have turned off a first so noble wife may justly die at me. I pray yet, since you lack virtue, I will lose a husband. Send for your ring, I'll return it home, and give me mine again.
I have it not.
What ring was yours, I pray you?
Sir, much like the same upon your finger.
Know you this ring? This ring was his of late.
And this was it I gave him, being a bed.
The story then goes false, you threw it him out a casement.
I have spoke the truth.
My lord, I do confess the ring was hers.
You boggle shrewdly, every feather starts you. Is this the man you speak of?
I, my good lord.
Tell me, sirrah, but tell me true, I charge you, not fearing the displeasure of your master, which on your just proceeding I'll keep off. By him and by this woman here, what know you?
So please your majesty, my master hath been an honorable gentleman. Tricks he hath had in him, as gentlemen have.
Come to the purpose. Did he love this woman?
Faith, sir, he did love her. But how?
How, I pray you?
He loved her, sir, as man loves a woman.
How is that?
He loved her, sir, but loved her not.
As thou art a knave and no knave, what an equivocal companion is this?
I am a poor man, and at your majesty's command.
He is a good drum, my lord, but a naughty orator.
Do you know he promised me marriage?
Faith, I know more than I'll speak.
But wilt thou not speak all thou knowest?
Yes, so please your majesty. I did go between them, as I said, but more than that, sir, he loved her, for indeed he was mad for her. And I was in that credit with them at the time that I knew of their going to bed, and of other measures as promising her marriage, and other things that will derive me ill will to speak of. Therefore, I will not speak what I know.
Thou hast spoken all already, unless thou canst say they are married, but you are too fine in your evidence, therefore stand aside. This ring, you say, was yours?
I, my lord.
Where did you buy it, or who gave it you?
It was not given me, nor I did not buy it.
Who lent it you?
It was not lent me neither.
Where did you find it?
I found it not.
If it were yours by none of all these ways, how could you give it him?
I never gave it him.
This woman's an easy glove, my lord. She goes off and on at pleasure.
This ring was mine. I gave it his first wife.
It might be yours or hers for aught I know.
Take her away. I do not like her now. To prison with her, and take away the count. Unless you tell me within this hour where you had this ring, thou diest.
I'll never tell you.
Take her away.
I'll put in bail, my liege.
I think thee now some common customer.
By Jove, if I ever knew man, 'twas you.
Wherefore hast thou accused him all this while?
Because he's guilty and he's not guilty. He knows I'm no maid and he'll swear to it. I'll swear I am a maid and he knows not.
Great king, I have no strumpet by my life. I'm either maid or else this old man's wife.
Oh, she does abuse our ears. To prison with her.
Good mother, fetch my bail. Stay, royal sir. The jeweler that owes the ring is sent for and shall show to me. But for this lord, who hath abused me as he knows himself, who yet never harmed me, here I quit him. He knows himself my bed he hath defiled, and at that time he got his wife with child. Dead though she be, she feels her young one kick. So there's my riddle. One that's dead is quick. And now behold the meaning.
Is there no exorcist beguiles the truer office of mine eye? Is it real that I see?
No, my good lord. It's but the shadow of the wife you see. The name and not the thing.
Both! Oh, pardon.
Oh, my good lord. When I was like this maid, I found you wondrous kind. Here is your ring, and look you, here's your letter. This it says, when from my finger you can get this ring, and are by me with child, etc. This is done. Will you be mine now you are doubly won?
If she, my liege, can make me know this clearly, I'll love her dearly, ever, ever dearly.
If it appear not plain and prove untrue, deadly divorce stuck between me and you. Oh, my dear mother, do I see you living?
Oh, my nice smell onions. Oh, sweet Tom Crumb. Lend me a handkerchief. Oh, come on. Sir, wait on me home. I'll make sport with thee. Oh, leave thy curtsies off. They are scurvy ones.
Let us from point to point this story know, to make the even truth in pleasure flow. If thou beest a fresh, uncropped flower, choose thou thy husband, and I'll pay thy dower. For I can guess that by thy honest aid thou kept'st a wife herself, thyself a maid. Of this and all the progress, more and less, resolvedly more leisure shall express. All yet seems well, and if it end so meet, the bitter past, more welcome is the sweet. The king's a beggar, now the play is done. All is well ended if this suit be one that you express content, which we will pay with strife to please you day exceeding day. Ours be your patience then, and yours our parts. Your gentle hands lend us, and take our hearts.
Medfield TV. Community shows.